Imagine this, a mission where every step is surrounded by corpses. But the terrifying part isn't that they're dead. The terrifying part is that they're not silent. They watch, they think, and they wait. And then, within the blink of an eye, they surround you from all sides. So tell me, would you walk into that city just for a handful of money, a city from which no one has ever returned alive? Today's story is about that very nightmare. The roar of a US military convoy cuts through the silence, a clear sign that something highly sensitive is underway. A massive container is being transported under heavy security, but no one knows what's locked inside that steel box. And then, fate takes a dangerous turn. A car cruising down the road suddenly loses control and crashes straight into the military truck. A massive explosion, flames shoot up into the sky, and in the chaos, the container breaks open. What comes out is something that makes your soul shiver. This isn't some slow, mindless zombie. This is an alpha-fast, intelligent, deadly. In seconds, it wipes out trained soldiers like they were nothing, but its goal isn't just to kill. It's building an army. Anyone it bites turns into one of them within seconds. Their next target, Las Vegas, a city full of lights, noise, and endless crowds where prey is everywhere. These zombies have a plan. Infect the entire city, build a massive army, and within hours, the lively Vegas turns into a nightmare. Screams echo through the streets. Blood floods the alleys. Everywhere, only death. The government tries everything to stop it, but this enemy is smarter than humans. When all options fail, a final decision is made. Seal off the entire city. Massive walls are built to contain the virus. And from that day on, Las Vegas becomes something else. A cage of death. Time passes, and now we meet Scott. Once a war hero, now flipping burgers at a small diner. Life has taken everything from him. Then enters Hunter, a rich man with a dangerous offer. He reveals the government is planning to nuke Vegas soon. But before that, Scott has to go in one last time. The mission, retrieve $200 million locked inside Hunter's casino vault. Scott now has two choices: fade away in a meaningless life, or stare death in the eye and take a chance. The risk is worse than death. But the reward forces him to pick up his weapons again. Then comes another twist. Hunter raises the stakes. $50 million. Enough to change generations. But there's a condition. The mission must be completed within 36 hours. The clock is ticking. And Scott says yes. Meanwhile, things are even worse in the refugee camp. This is where Scott's daughter, Kate, is. She's helping people, trying to hold together broken lives. That's where she meets Gita, a mother of two young daughters who has nothing left to lose, except hope. Gita makes a decision. She will go into that hell. For her daughters. For a better future. Kate tries to stop her, warns her about death. But for a mother, even death feels small. Now the question is, will Scott and his team complete the mission, or will those walls of Vegas become their final destination? Scott knows this isn't a one-man job. He needs a team, skilled, and just a little crazy. He picks 5 specialists, each one the best in their field. But the game isn't that simple. Hunter plants his own man in the team. The plan sounds simple, almost perfect. First, push through zombie territory to reach the casino. Then, Ludwig, the master safecracker, opens the vault. And finally, a helicopter waiting on the roof flies them all out. But plans that look perfect on paper are the weakest in reality. One small mistake, and it's over. Before the mission, Scott meets Kate. Silence fills the space between them. A silence heavy with years of pain. Kate hasn't forgotten the day her father had to shoot her own mother because she was no longer human. Pain, anger, broken memories. And then, Kate makes a decision. She's going on the mission too. Scott refuses, but this time, she won't back down. Now the question is simple. Will they reach the vault, or become part of someone else's story? The story now reaches a turning point, where emotions and danger collide. Scott wants to protect his daughter, but fate has other plans. Kate finds out Gita has already entered Vegas. No backup, no preparation. This shakes her completely. She tells Scott, if we don't go, she's dead. Scott refuses at first. But when a father sees fear in his daughter's eyes, he can't stay hard for long. He agrees. With one warning, step inside, and every breath is borrowed. The team enters Vegas through hidden container routes. The city feels frozen in time, broken cars, empty streets, rotting buildings, everything whispers the same truth. Life once existed here, but then some team members take the silence lightly. Selfies, jokes, like they're on a trip, when in reality, they're standing inside death itself. And then they meet a girl, the same girl who helped Gita enter the city. She tells them there are 2 kinds of hunters here now. One that just attack, and the other, alphas. They think, they plan, and may hunt like humans. Here, The price of staying alive is sometimes human sacrifice. Scott doesn't have time. Instead of searching for Gita, he decides to go straight to the casino. Kate breaks down, but the mission doesn't stop. On the way, the team sees something strange. Hundreds of zombies, standing completely still, as if they're asleep. These are the night hunters, dormant during the day. The whole team moves forward slowly, holding their breath. The silence is so deep you can hear your own heartbeat. And then, one small mistake, a sound, and hell wakes up. Within seconds, a flood of zombies crashes onto the team, screams everywhere, running footsteps, gunfire. The ambush is so intense, one of the girls gets trapped. She realizes this is the end. She screams, "Don't let me become one of them. End me now." Her teammate with trembling hands takes the shot. A massive explosion. Flames burst out, and it's over. That girl and dozens of zombies turn to ashes together. The path clears, but leaves behind a wound that will never heal. Covered in blood, sweat, and gunpowder, the team reaches the casino. The vault is just a few steps away. But the real game is just beginning, because the true rulers of Vegas, the Alpha Zombies, haven't even entered the battlefield yet. Inside the casino, the second phase of war begins. Scott and Kate somehow restore the power, and the dark casino lights up again. But this light doesn't bring comfort. It only reveals danger is hiding in every corner. Up on the roof, the pilot is preparing the helicopter, and below, standing in front of the vault, Ludwig suddenly pauses. There's a strange doubt on his face. He quietly says, "A treasure this big won't be protected by locks alone." Now the game is about to get even more dangerous. Here, death has laid out a complex trap. Ludwig realizes walking straight ahead means certain death. So he makes a move. He pushes a few wandering zombies onto the path ahead. In the very next moment, the silent corridor erupts. Bullets rain down, hidden arrows shoot from the walls, traps activate and tear those zombies apart in seconds. The team uses them as sacrifices and moves forward safely. But the real mistake is still ahead. Outside the casino, Hunter's greedy assistant, trying to prove himself, makes a deadly mistake. He kills a special female zombie. And, instantly, one of the experienced team members screams, "Do you realize what you've done?" She was the Alpha leader's queen, and she was pregnant. For a moment, everything freezes. But as soon as the news reaches the Alpha, pain fills his eyes, and then rage. A kind of rage rare even in humans. Now this fight is no longer about hunger. It has become a war of revenge. And as if that wasn't enough, another bad news comes over the radio. The government is done waiting. Now only 1 hour remains before the entire city is wiped out. On top of that, the helicopter isn't ready to fly yet. Time is slipping away. The team starts stuffing bags with cash like madmen. But at that very moment, Kate's conscience wakes up. She remembers Gita's face and the promise she made. And then she leaves the pile of money behind and quietly walks into the darkness, where only death is waiting. When Scott finds out his daughter is gone, his soul shakes, and the moment he turns, boom! The basement door breaks open. An entire army of zombies storms in, and leading them, the wounded Alpha leader. Now it's pure chaos everywhere. In the attack, one of Scott's closest allies falls to the monsters. But the biggest shock is still coming. When the team needed each other the most, that's when Hunter's assistant reveals his true face. He abandons everyone and runs. Betrayal. Outside, the missile is already in the air. Inside, death is everywhere. And they've been stabbed in the back. Now there's only one question. Will anyone make it out alive? The story has now reached a point where humans seem more dangerous than zombies. In the darkness of the basement, the team is trapped and standing in front of them. That assistant. There's a shine of victory in his eyes. Slowly, he reveals the truth. This mission was never about the money. The real target was the zombie queen's head. Why? Because through her, the entire zombie army can be controlled. The team was just a pawn, and now they've been left to die. The assistant walks out with the bag. But fate had other plans. The moment he opens the bag, his face turns pale. Inside the bag, there's no head, just a simple money-counting machine. His entire plan backfires on him, and then, from the darkness, something emerges. A zombie tiger. Within seconds, the traitor meets his end. Meanwhile, Coyote risks her life to find a way out for the team. But outside, freedom isn't waiting. Death is. Thousands of zombies surround them from all sides. In the chaos, one of the team's shooters gets caught. He understands. His end is certain. But He doesn't panic. He smiles and gives his friends a chance to escape. One final explosion, and he takes dozens of zombies with him. Up on the roof, near the helicopter, Coyote faces the Zombie King. She shows courage and pulls out the real queen's head, threatening him. And I drop this. For a moment, even that terrifying king stops. Pain is visible in his eyes, but just one moment of distraction, Coyote loses focus, and the Zombie King attacks. As she falls, she drops the head. Now, the king has nothing left to lose. On the other side, Kate finally finds Gita. There, she faces a man who has turned into a monster. Kate kills him and frees Gita. Just then, Scott arrives. The three of them rush toward the helicopter. Only minutes remain before the missile strikes. The helicopter lifts off, but bam! The Zombie King makes a massive leap and gets inside. And then, in the sky begins the final battle of death. Scott versus the Zombie King. Hand-to-hand combat, blood, screams. And during the fight, the Zombie King bites Scott. Now the story reaches its most dangerous turning point. Will Scott survive the infection? Or will he have to choose death at the hands of his own daughter? The end is now so close that even blinking feels heavy. Only 300 seconds remain before death rains from the sky. On the casino rooftop, amid blood, smoke, and chaos, Scott gathers his last strength. And finally, the monstrous king falls silent forever. But every victory has a cost, and this one is devastating. The pilot is riddled with bullets, but her courage still alive. With trembling hands, she starts the helicopter, and somehow gets it airborne. The Vegas border is just within reach. Then, behind them, a blinding light explodes. Government missiles turn the entire city into ash. But the shockwaves hit the helicopter like a toy. Now, this is no longer a fight of skill. It's in the hands of fate. The helicopter crashes far away into the desert sand. The impact is brutal. Everything seems finished. The pilot and Gita both lose their lives. From the wreckage, only one person survives. Kate. She runs toward her father. In Kate's eyes, regret, pain, and realization. She finally understands the man she hated for years was never a killer. He was a protector. With a breaking voice, Scott comforts his daughter. He hands her the bag he saved. His final wish, that she leaves this nightmare and starts a new life. But then, his body begins to shake. Veins turn blue. The truth is clear. The virus has begun its work. Scott knows time is almost gone. In moments, he won't recognize his daughter. He'll become her hunter. He looks into Kate's eyes and says, "Set me free." A moment no child should ever face. Kate, with trembling hands, raises the gun. Tears won't stop. And then, bang. The shot echoes. Scott falls. And at that same moment, the weight Kate carried for years finally breaks. She realizes her father didn't kill her mother. He destroyed the monster inside her. Kate is now alone, in a ruined world where everything is gone. After some time, a rescue team finds her. Vegas is nothing but ash now, but is the danger truly over? No, the most dangerous twist is still left. Scott's teammate, Vander. He survived the massacre. And dreams of freedom, he boards a private jet, heading to Mexico. He believes he escaped death, but it's never that simple. As he washes his face in the bathroom, his eyes fall on his hand. A deep wound, the same mark the Zombie King gave him. And in that moment, everything becomes clear. The irony, the virus, that required an entire city to be destroyed, is now sitting inside a luxury jet, heading toward the world. So is this the end? Or the beginning of something far worse? Vegas is gone, but the real threat has just begun. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe. Like and share the video, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next recap. See you in the next one.